Hello, Resurrection. It's June the 25th. It's Wednesday, and tonight we have a special Wednesday event, and I hope you can come. It'll start at 6 o'clock with our potluck, and then by about 6 or 6:30, we're going to go into some sort of visioning session. Uh, it is time for us to talk about some outreach and visioning what outreach can look like for us now and in the future at Resurrection. So you may or may not know that we have a ringer in our church and on the vestry, Rebecca Teal, who knows the church, the Episcopal Church, like the back of her hand, inside and outside. She works at St. George's. I don't know if y'all knew that, but she's going to lead our visioning session for us tonight. I asked her what she needed from me, and she said, "Well, if it's all right with you, I don't need anything," which tickles me to death. I talked for just a minute Sunday when Ava Faultnesson stepped in to work the broadcast for us, the video. I mentioned that Ava's a great church lady because church ladies see a job that needs to be done and they do it. And that is what Rebecca has done for us. She recognizes that we need to have a little more formal plan for outreach, which doesn't mean just feeding the poor, although it does mean that. It doesn't just mean taking care of the homeless, although it does mean that. Doesn't just mean evangelism, although it does mean that, but it means everything that we do. We do ministry, we do outreach pretty well at Resurrection on the fly, and I think that's not uncommon for smaller parishes that we don't have don't exactly have a formal outreach plan, but we meet needs as they arise, and we do that pretty effectively. But as we grow, I think it is time for us to start formalizing that plan a little bit. So I'm grateful to Rebecca for that. Tonight it'll be fun and it'll be interesting. And if you are not a normal Wednesday night resurrection attender, come tonight. It's a one time thing. You may discover that we have a really good time on Wednesdays. So just for tonight, we won't start our regular Wednesday night programming until the second Wednesday of July. What is that? 30, 40, 15, 16, July 16, somewhere around there, 15, 16, 17. But we will have one tonight. So do come on at 6 o'clock, bring a dish to pass, or just show up hungry. We'll have plenty of food. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Now, one more thing I've been thinking about today is that many of you know that I grew up as a Southern Baptist, and Southern Baptists, for the most part, have thrown the church calendar out. Now, they did retain two holy days, Easter and Christmas, and they like most less liturgical folks, non-denominational folks, they don't observe the rest of the church calendar. But we do in the Episcopal Church. We Christmas and Easter are just two of the many days on the church calendar. Of course, we try always to observe in the Episcopal Church the seven principal feast days. Let me see if I can name them: Christmas and Easter, Pentecost, All Saints, All Souls, the Epiphany, and the Ascension. Those are the seven principal feast days. Those feasts come before anything else in the calendar in the order of precedence. But almost every day on the church calendar has something to remember, something to kind of focus you. Yesterday was, let me make sure I'm right. I've got my little calendar here on my desk. If you don't have one of these calendars, we've got some in the church office. You might enjoy it. It might even help with your prayer life some to remember who it is we're observing on certain days. And so I am right. Yesterday was the feast day of the Nativity of John the Baptist, which happens 6 months before the birth of Jesus, as it happened in the Bible. And we were talking yesterday in the church office about John the Baptist and about this day, and many things that we didn't know about John the Baptist and how that kind of informed our prayer life. And I thought, now, that that calendar is a real treasure for us. We didn't throw out at the Reformation. We didn't throw out the calendar. We held on to that. The happy days, the sad days, the saints' observances. And as I was looking through the calendar, in the next just 4 or 5 weeks alone, we have got some really important days coming up. Next Monday is the feast of Peter and Paul. They share a day. Did you know that Peter and Paul share a day? They may be the only ones who do that, unless like there are husband and wife saint days. Emma and Kamehameha come to mind, but Peter and Paul, they're pretty high up the hierarchy of the saints, and they have to share a day. But that's coming up next week. What else? Independence Day, we observe on our calendar. The prayer book has some beautiful prayers for Independence Day. Priscilla and Aquila from the Bible, they're coming up. William White. Do you know who William White was? William White's one of my heroes. William White was he was the third bishop of the Episcopal Church, the great peacemaker. I'll tell you about him someday. He's coming up in a couple of weeks. Mary Magdalene is coming up. James the Apostle is coming up. Mary and Martha of Bethany, some of our favorites at Resurrection. And if you don't have a church calendar, grab one and use that church calendar to kind of focus your prayer life, to think about what it is that Mary and Martha of Bethany did for us and for our Lord, who they loved with their whole hearts. And we're going to be focusing in on those things a little bit. So I'm just giving you a warning that that's coming. You might hear about those on my Wednesdays coming up. So reminders for this week: Sunday, everything will happen just like normal, and tonight we have a special Wednesday, and I hope to see you for dinner at 6, or for the session at 6:30 or 6:45. Okay, I love y'all. I'll see you soon. Hopefully tonight.